goal of 3D printing is to disconnect having the idea from making the idea, so that you can just have the idea and it doesn't matter what happens in the middle. It doesn't matter how it's made. The idea is eventually you say tea, Earl Grey, hot, and nobody cares what happens in the middle. I mean, it's cool, but you know, in the perfect world, the 3D printer is invisible and you never realize it exists, because you have an idea, you design your idea, you have your physical object. And our job in the world of 3D printing is to make those things come together so that the gap in between is invisible.
The art attributed more to man's progress than any other art. By means of printing, the fund of knowledge accumulated through the ages is available to everyone. Printing is essential to all education. All the other arts rely on it. Business could not function without it, nor could government. Because of the need for printed matter in practically all of man's activities, printing now ranks fourth among the nation's great industries.
Hi, my name is Espen Sivertsen and I'm the CEO of Type A Machines, and we build 3D printers. We've been doing that since January of 2012. We started out in San Francisco. By the end of last year, we were 18 people in 350 square feet of office space, so a little bit tight. So we moved here to San Leandro, where we have 18 acres of old Ford factory to really expand into. And we've not come alone, we've actually brought with us 10 other 3D printing companies, all startups that are working together to form a tool chain, which hopefully is pretty seamless by the end of it all.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I'm the CTO and founder here at Type A Machines. I bought my first ever 3D printer back in 2009, and then in 2010 I emigrated to the US. And I couldn't work for the first few months, and so I got my kit 3D printer back out of its box and got it working again. And then I started redesigning it, which I did several times, and eventually I designed a machine of my own from scratch. I did a lot of my early prototyping at a hackerspace here in San Francisco called Noisebridge, where I also happened to meet one of the co-founders of the company.
So Type A Machines really started at Noisebridge, which is a hackerspace in San Francisco. And the backstory is both Andrew, our founder and CTO, and I were waiting for our green cards. Basically, our wives got tired of Andrew hacking on his kitchen table, threw him out, and my wife was tired of me sitting around, threw me out. So we ended up hanging around in Noisebridge.
And because of Noisebridge, I was introduced to Tech Shop. I got a membership, and I invested money that I'd actually made being paid to do 3D printing in building the first machine of my own design.
So we sort of joined this team and started building 3D printers. And here we are a couple of years later, 27 people and 700 customers.
There are something like over 150 different companies making what can be broadly considered a desktop 3D printer right now. We're certainly one of the more prominent companies, and we're definitely building the best machine in its class. But it's a very competitive and very fast-moving space.
But we're seeing, our customers are doing everything from 3D printed cookie cutters to two-part resin dividers for aerospace. And what they're doing is they're taking 3D printing and adding like a secondary process, like making cookies or adding a potted plant or creating resin bags for aerospace. And then they're basically building a business around that.
We're not selling people a machine so they can build a 3D printer. We're not selling people a machine so they can 3D print. It's so they can 3D print whatever it is they want to make, and it's getting to that end point that they really care about.
A little while ago when we went through our user data, that about 8% of our customer base have started their own company or running their own startup using our 3D printer as a primary tool. And that just blows my mind, because if you look at the statistics, we are actually producing more startups right now than most business schools.